Hello everybody, it's Hazel here from Graceful Embroidery. Today I'm going to stitch out one of my romantic crazy quilts, and I'll show you how I go about it and the tips for success and also the errors to avoid. I've been creating, or should I say trying to create, a quilt that's made up of all my crazy quilt blocks. Now, so many people say to me, how do they all go together because they're all different colours? Well, the important thing is if you're going to stitch them all out and put them together into one quilt, then you don't want a myriad of colours. I'm very passionate about colours, and I think it's important not to put too many colours together, especially primary ones. So it's important to choose your colour first, your colour scheme, which I have done. And today I'm going to stitch out the fourth romantic crazy quilt. Planning out a romantic crazy quilt block is very important. I'm doing a series here. I'm taking all my quilt blocks and I'm changing the colours of them and making them all the same so that they'll look nice when they're all joined together. Here you can see the basic colours that I'm going to use. Several shades of green. There is a difference between these two, and I think it's the subtle changes in these in threads which make for an embroidery. And I'm using these two tan ones to make it pop, and then as well as that I'm just using a very pale green and a little bit of ivory. So this was my second quilt that I stitched out. This one went perfectly. I was really pleased with this. The first one I made a mistake. In that when I put the layers of fabric on, I did this shiny silk dupe on twice and forgot to put the more slubby one as a contrast. So to stitch out the design today, I've hooped my 8 by 8 inch hoop with a layer of stitch and tear, and then I apply my temporary adhesive and I put another layer on top. Now it doesn't have to be as big as the first layer because it's not being hooped, and I just iron it in place with my fingers as best I can. And I'm going to spray the top one and I'm going to add my base fabric. Now it's very important to try and get this straight, and this is why I love working with silk dupion, because the lines, the slubby lines on it, can be used to make things completely straight. There's nothing worse than a design, especially a square one, if it's not quite straight. So that's already attached to my hoop, and I'm going to stitch out the first set of lines of stitches which will show me where to lay the first lot of fabric. Here you can see the outline of where the block's going to go, and if you check my alignment, it's not too bad compared to the lines that go across the silk. And here are my first stitches which show me where to lay the first piece of fabric. It's important as you work through this that you actually follow the PDF. In my PDFs you'll find diagrams of the right size, the shape of the fabric that's required for each placement. Now these are the 4 pieces of fabric that I've prepared, and I cut them to size, or probably a little bit bigger than it says in the PDF, and I've also pressed them. And so the first one that I'm going to put on is this one here, and because I've looked at the PDF, I know that it has to go on like this, and I'm literally just going to lay it on the top. I do use this pen for securing the fabric, but I don't use that until after it's been stitched in place or had its first alignment done. I'll take this to the machine and show you the result.